Alright, here's lesson 1-2. Again, I want the lesson labeled on the top corner of your notebook. I want the date over here. For those of you keeping track, that does say September 56th, 2013, because I'm not sure which exact day you're going to be doing this homework. We're going to start again with a list of vocabulary. And here it all is, in case you're having trouble reading it. Those words are power, exponent, base, simplify, evaluate, and value. I do want an example for all of these, although your example for evaluate you can wait on for the moment. So you go ahead, work on that. I'll wait. You pause the video so you can get the definitions done. Okay, quickly going over these definitions. Hopefully you know what these things are, even if you didn't know the exact definition. Power is a combination of the base and the exponent of an expression. For example, 3 to the 5th. Let me zoom in a little bit. That's a little hard to read. That's better. An exponent is a value that tells you how many times to use the base as a factor. For example, 2 to the 6th. The 6th is the exponent. 7 to the x is the exponent. Next word, base, a number that is multiplied repeatedly. For example, in the one we used before, 2 to the 6th, 2 is the base. Again, the one we used before, 7 to the x, 7 is the base. Now, I fully expect that some of you are copying my definitions exactly. I need you to have your own examples because we're going to check those in class tomorrow. Simplify. To replace a numerical expression with a single numerical value. For example, 3 times 4 becomes 12. The value of 5 squared is 25. Evaluate. To substitute a given number for each variable and then simplify. This is part of the teaching of the lesson. So when you get to problem 3, you'll have an example for the word evaluate. And then I added the vocabulary word value. It's not in your glossary. Thank you if you looked it up and found that out. The value is just the answer. So the value of 3 cubed is 27. All right. The first thing we have in the book today, I'm looking at page 10, is very straightforward, and I'm hoping it's all review for you. Let's get this over to the right spot. You'll notice I have repeated the number of the lesson, and I've labeled it problem 1, and then I've added the word spun. That simply means that I took the numbers that they gave you in problem 1 in the book, and I put in different numbers. The reason I did that is because it's 2-for-1 example. I'm going to give you one example. If you need to see it again with different examples, it is right here in your book. 10 to the 7th and 0.2 to the 5th. All right? So, 2 to the 4th. That's easy for everybody, right? 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. 2 to the 4th. Simplify it. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. There's your answer. Easy enough. I suppose I could make it even tidier and add some equal signs. Okay. Now the next example I give, 0.5 cubed. Don't forget about the decimal points. That is equal to 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5. And be careful about the different symbols that you use. Make sure your decimals are down lower than your multiplication dots. Otherwise, it just gets hard to read. That is going to be equal to what? 0.5 times 0.5 gives us 0.25 times 0.5 again, which is going to give us 0.125. Okay? Now, I would like you to take a look in page 10 in your book. There's a question labeled Got It, and it's just one problem, but it's got 3 parts, A, B, and C. I'd like you to pause the video now and get those done. I'll wait. Okay, moving on to page 11. We get to the really, really big idea from this lesson, which is PEMDAS. And I believe you guys are all familiar with this. And some of you even know my own twisted saying for this. Most of you have learned, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and I confessed that I actually learned, please excuse my dead Aunt Selma. You can use whatever sentence you like. The important thing is we need to remember what this means and how it works. So take a look at page 11. At the top of the page, it should look kind of like that. Okay. When simplifying an expression, you need to perform operations in the correct order. Otherwise, you will get the wrong answer. To give you an example right here, you might think about simplifying 2 plus 3 times 5 in 2 ways. Can I make this a little more clear? Oh, I can. If you add first 2 plus 3, which gives you 5, times 5, which gives you 25, that's one answer. Or you multiply first. 2 plus 3 times 5, which is equal to 2 plus 15, which is equal to 17. All right? Basically, only the second result is considered correct. Why? Because mathematicians have agreed that that's the way it's going to be. So you have to remember the correct order of operations, or you will end up getting problems wrong. First step. Whoops, went the wrong way. There we go. So, start with parentheses or brackets. Do anything inside those first. Second, simplify powers. We just talked about what powers were on the other page. Third, multiply and divide from left to right. And this is important. You don't have to multiply first and then divide. Any multiplication or division that you get from left to right is what you do next. Same thing with addition and subtraction. You don't have to add first and then subtract. Either one of those that you find from left to right is what you do next. Okay? What I would like you to do now is, are we up to that? Oh, we are. What I'd like you to do now is take a look at Got It. Now we're on the bottom of page 11. Question number 2. What is the simplified form of each expression? And these are just chances for you to practice correct order of operations a little bit. If you want a little more review, right above it, simplifying a numerical expression. You can look it over. It shows what I just talked about again. Okay? I'll wait. Okay, we are moving on to problem 3. And I am zooming out so that you can see this whole thing. Okay, again, I'm giving you numbers slightly different from the book so that you can have extra review from the book if you like. If I tell you that x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 3, and then I ask you the value of this, you're going to evaluate this algebraic expression. Those nice big fancy words. All you do is you put in what I've given you. If x is equal to 3, then this means 3 squared plus x is still equal to 3. 3 squared plus 3. Don't have to do anything fancy about 81. Divided by y squared. Oh, y is equal to 3. That was pretty nice of me to make both x and y the same thing. I should have given you different numbers. So, PEMDAS, we have no parentheses. We do have exponents. So our first step is going to be, there, let me grab this. Okay, 9 plus 3 minus 81 divided by 9. Okay, we can't add those yet. We can't subtract that yet. We've got some division here. So next, 9. Oops, running out of screen, sorry. 9 plus 3 minus 81 divided by 9, which is 9. The answer to that is 3. Now, if I had used my space a little better, I would have put this 3 right below. But unfortunately, the next problem's under this green paper here, and I ran out of room. All right? So I want to see all your substitution steps, and I want to be able to tell what your final answer is. Okay? Next problem. Same x, same y. X is equal to 3, and y is equal to 3. Let me draw a line so this becomes a little more clear what I'm doing. Well, that's easy. 3 times 3 cubed. PEMDAS. First we do whatever's in the parentheses. So 3 times 3 becomes 9 cubed. Next step, exponents. What's 9 cubed? Okay, think it through. Think it through. Think it through. Maybe you're off to the side. 81 times 9, which is how I'd have to do it. 9 times 8. Oh, I hate my 9 times tables. Oh, whoo, 729. And that way I can, this time I have room to squeeze my answer in underneath. All right, there we go. So, that covers page 11. That covers page, does that cover page 12? Oh, not quite. Not quite, but we're getting close. So, now we're taking a look at page 12. We are coming to the end. Yay! Problem 3. Very similar to work to what we just did. Given x equals 5 and y equals 2, and they show you how to substitute the values and evaluate the expression. That's completely done for you if you want another example. Then xy squared, we already worked through that using different values for x and y. Now, I want you to stop the video again and do got it, number 3. What is the value of each expression when a equals 3 and b equals 4? Just like that. Oh. All right, take a look at that, see what you can figure out, do your best, write it in your notebook. We'll take a look at it tomorrow. I'll wait. Okay, last one for today, evaluating a real-world expression. I don't love how wordy this particular problem is. There was one like it yesterday, but what I do like is it's actually kind of helpful for showing you how you might use algebra in your actual life. What is an expression for the spending money you have left over after depositing 2/5 of your wages in savings? Evaluate the expression for weekly wages of $40, $50, $75, and $100. Now, for those of you that are lost, I'm just on page 12. I just read the first thing. We actually spent some time yesterday translating these things into math. So they want to know, how do you solve the problem? 2/5 of your wages, these are your different wages. Okay? They give you a little chart. What do you know? Your savings is 2/5 of your wages. You have 4 different weekly wages to work with. What do you need? You need to figure out what you're spending money and what you're spending money for different wages. And then they give you a plan. Write an expression and evaluate it. And they even use a table to show you how it's done best. All right? I want you to look through this. This table is very helpful. Figuring out what they did. Here's the column with the wages. Here's the math that they performed on those wages to figure out what your spending money is. After you have looked at this, I want you to do the got it problem on the top of page 13. It's got it number 4. The shipping cost for an order at an online store. You can read the rest on your own. Okay? Do your best with this. Spend no more than 10 minutes. and then come back. Okay, last bit of your homework. You're going to do this lesson check. Wrong direction. All right, it's the one on page 13. It's only 8 problems. You've actually already done number 7 because you know the exponent and the base in 4 to the 3rd from the vocabulary you've already done. So each one of these problems in your homework book. Right, remember your homework book? Nicely labeled. Tomorrow we will go over the answers. Good job.